People always ask me, Ed, why you doing this? My answer changes every time. And that's probably because there's so many different reasons why I should be doing this. But one of my main reasons is that I love my people. I'm tired of seeing my people lose. I look around this neighborhood that I live in, and I see people hustling, going about their day, trying to make ends meet, trying to figure out how they're gonna make it to tomorrow. And I live in this neighborhood that's seemingly like forgotten by society.
My name's Kendall. A lot of people know me. I came up in a household of, it was very disruptive. It was not productive. Mom was an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? She died, lost my mom when I was 15. Darlene Elizabeth Robertson, rest in peace. Had a pop, he was there. Theodore Smallwood, Teddy Smallwood, everybody know him, rest in peace. Lost my dad when I was 18. It was hard, man. Coming home to a mom that's getting beat on her boyfriend. I gotta be productive. I'm the go-getter at 15. And trying to stay focused in school because I had to learn, you know. But my mom, being the woman that she was a single parent. She gave me the morals and values that make me who I am today, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm stable physically, financially, mentally, and emotionally. So life from 15 to 19, it was called surviving. Surviving is hard when you're a child, you know what I'm saying? And you need a provider. How do you move forward? Trying to survive and understand some things that ain't been taught to you. It's hard. So to be sufficient now, I got almost 9.5 years clean, no trouble, no nothing, trying to move forward and better myself. I can't dwell on the problem, I gotta come up with a solution. And my solution is to stay focused. And this, you know, I want my story to touch another person so maybe they can come forward and give people general understanding about where we come from and what we come from.
Yeah, when you talk about like be your own man like me, because I got a shop, you gotta understand that, really, am I my own man? Do I really have a boss? Who's my boss?
You.
No. Y'all people my boss. My customers are my boss. Because I still have responsibility. You know what I mean? Don't think that because you got your own business, you can do what you want. How well the shop does depends on what I put into it. That brings me to y'all. Because how well y'all do in life depends on what y'all put into it. Y'all gotta understand y'all value. You know what I mean? Like the way things are now is just the way it is.
I wish I could go back.
Don't wish you can go back. Wish you can go forward. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You take what you got and you use it. Mm-hmm. But you gotta start at some point, man. You gotta start believing in yourself. You gotta start holding your head high. You gotta, when you walk in the room, you need to walk in that room like you belong there.
Right.
You need to walk in that room or whatever room it is, just like you got just as much right as anybody else to be there. Now, when I say that, I don't mean in an arrogant manner.
Right.
I mean in a confident manner. Just, you know, you got just as much right as anybody else. You got to believe that. When you shake a person's hand, you shake a person's hand with confidence. When you talk to a person, you look them in the eyes with confidence. When you speak up so they can hear because you got a right to speak. When I was coming up, I was lucky because I always had people, whether it was in the house or whether it was on the street, that would tell me, the old heads out on the street, get out of here, young boy, there ain't no handshake. You know, stuff like that. My mom, speak up. You know, I would get popped in the head if I didn't look at people when I was talking to them. When you talking to somebody, when you looking at somebody, when you walking in a room with somebody, you just as good as that person. The important thing is really, is like what I got on my shirt, building bulls. And building bulls is about y'all.
I see.
That's the important thing. So we can sit here and we can put all this on film.
Right.
But I don't want you to think that the stuff I'm saying to you is for film, because what I'm saying to you is really
real.
for you.
Well, I hope you found that, well, I found that very powerful. I was watching it like last week in little bits, and then this morning I watched the whole thing through. And then I've also just listened to it several times because I couldn't stop what I was doing, so I just listened to it playing on YouTube. So we actually have the director and the writers here. We have Edward Harrison and David Marsh. I don't know why I want to call you Brian Marsh for some reason. I'm sorry. But and then of course McKinley's here. So gentlemen, McKinley, thank you so much for joining us. Edward, you were just on relatively recently within the last few months. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about Building Bulls?
Well, Building Bulls, we like to think of it as more than just a mentoring program, because what we want to do is instill an ideology in these kids that it's more productive and that will change and impact positively the way they're thinking, the way they're reasoning, the way they're living, the way they see the world. So we want Building Bulls to be in an adapted ideology. And we also want it to, it's not just directed at children. Like we have another part of this film, and even this film, one of the things that we want to show is that in order for this to get done, that it's just as important that we, regular people, with our own problems, with our own issues, are still able to get out there and help these kids, push these kids along. Because like we say all the time, if we stay in our homes and close our doors, it's going to come knocking on our doors. Mm-hmm. So.
And that, I didn't capture that in the piece that we were able to share with the audience, but I remember you saying that in the documentary. You were saying that, you also talk to men of your own age who might not be in the position or the place where they want to be, and the things that are said to them. And then there was something else that you said to that young man that was, he made a comment about, I wish I could go back.
Oh, yeah.
And you said, don't worry about going back, just look to the future.
Yeah.
Right now.
I mean, there was a strong piece that I saw right there, even though I haven't seen the whole thing yet. Mm-hmm. But the words you give to that young man is something similar that I would have said also. And I mean, these kids need to see those things. So what made you originally put this together and want to talk to these young men?
Well, I mean, I just, I own a barbershop, I own a salon. And we live in the same neighborhood, and we've watched the way things have changed from when we were young, to the way things are now, and it hasn't gotten better. Mm-hmm. And we sit, I sit in the barbershop and I listen to these kids talk to each other, and I'm like, wow, these kids are like, they're lost. They need somebody. Somebody needs to say something to them, because they are doing a lot of their learning and a lot of their development
through each other.
Right. Exactly. And there's nobody, for the most part, there's nobody in those communities that is there to correct them, steer them, give them guidance, even, cheer them when they do something good. It's just not happening like it used to.
So, David, for your part, other than the filmmaking, are you also involved with Building Bulls?
Yes.
Tell me about your involvement and some of your experiences with these people, the young men.
Honestly, he's like the Batman and I'm the Robin of this organization we got. But I came to bring my part of the story that I have to the kids to let them know that it's the same thing. We grew up the same way. At the same time, it's not getting better. So my ideal of me being able to show them and interview them and, let them see themselves, discuss their own problems. Maybe they'll pay attention to what their inner selves. So I just kind of based it upon, my inner self, and I was like, man, maybe I need to take that to the program so they realize that they alone, their inner self alone, will help them through some of the troubling times that they have. I don't know, I get with Ed and we start to talk and we start to think of all the things that we could do for these young men. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So I enjoy the program. I'm just riding right now, riding along.